Okay, so it's kind of a gloomy day today. We're out in the barn, and there are no crickets. No crickets! Because the temperature is changing, it's getting cold, it's starting to freeze at night. So we went ahead and cleaned up the corner over there that had wood and PVC. That was today's little project. We just kind of stood everything up, and I figured, let me reuse some of this stuff. And so today's little 30-minute project was to build a little rack here. Had a cabinet up here which was basically worthless because it hung right here and didn't allow me to use the full space. So all this was just negative space I couldn't use. And we've got a Rubbermaid tote that we use for portable storage out in the woods. That's got some shovels and stuff in it, so when the winter comes, we'll bring that back into the barn and put it up, and we'll put the shovels here. But all we did was take a couple of 2x4s, cut them down, mounted them to the side of the barn, had some 4-inch PVC that was just sitting out in the middle of the woods that I collected, and I cut it up into little 4-inch segments and screwed those into the 2x4s and basically made a little rack so that this stuff has got some kind of organization to it. I just threw that stuff in there right now just to demonstrate. So that literally cleaned up the entire floor. All this stuff was falling over and it was all messy. We've got a nail up here that's hanging the weed whacker. We've got this longer tube. People will ask, what's the longer tube for, since everything else is shorter. The longer tube is actually freestanding. It's not screwed into any 2x4, and that's just holding my stakes for the snow and all that kind of stuff, and some of the longer stuff. And if you notice, I didn't go PVC all the way down to the end. I left this section open for handled tools that go down to larger tools. So like the mallet, the floor scraper, there's a manual edger that's there. So I left that open to fit some of the larger tools. On this side I did the same thing so that I could allow for the post hole digger to sit in there. And believe it or not, that was actually on accident. I did not do it on purpose. It just worked out that way. So that worked out perfect. But project took about 30 minutes, 45 minutes maybe, just because I had to pull out some tools that I had put up for the winter. Basically the miter saw is all I used to cut the PVC and the wood. Had to find the right size screws, had to charge some batteries for the drill. But yeah, overall, in 30-45 minutes, it wasn't a bad little project. Just reusing some of the scrap wood that would have sat over there in the corner for who knows how long. So, I guess moral of the story is, reuse what you got, make something worthwhile. I'm all about trying to get things organized in this barn, because now that we've got the tractor, that takes up a lot of space. And I'm not one for wanting to keep the attachments outside, so this bucket will go on the tractor pretty soon. Snowfall will probably be coming within the next month, so we'll be taking the grapple off, putting the bucket on. We'll be taking the ballast box off so that we can traverse the snow a little bit easier without slipping and sliding, because we're not going to put chains on the tires. And yeah, so alright, well, at least I hope you learned something from this one, or at least gave you some kind of an idea, something that you can reuse some wood with. You know, this little storage unit works great. Alright, on to the next.